What if I tell you that behind the clouds of China, between the rocks and in the silences of the valleys, such kingdoms still hide today, those that are not found on maps, nor in guidebooks, where at every step there is a silent guard, at every turn, a question. These are those mountains whose height is surpassed by the depth of their silence. Somewhere, temples swing in the wind, while somewhere rocks stand without support for thousands of years. Some call them the home of gods, while others call them faith. Here, it is not the rule of humans, but of nature. Today, we will take you on that journey to the most mysterious mountains of China, where pictures are not made, questions are formed, perhaps the answers are hidden within you. Number 1, Yiling Hunan. When a mountain becomes the staircase to the sky. Not every mountain is meant to be climbed. Some are such that they are only seen from afar, with complete devotion, complete silence, and with such respect that it makes us feel our own smallness. Located in the southern part of Hunan province, Yiling is exactly such a place where mountains are spread in the shape of waves. But these waves are of stone, frozen, and have captured time within themselves. When you move towards Yiling for the first time, then the path itself slows down automatically. There is no greenery, no waterfalls, no chirping of birds on the ground. What there is just an echoing silence, countless layers of red rocks, and dry winds passing between them. The geography of Yiling is so strange that you will feel as if you are not on Earth, but walking in some dry, desolate, and barren other world. The wavy rocks look like the back of some ancient python that was once growing in the womb of the earth, and now has come up and turned into stone. The yet ranges of Yiling are formed by geological forces, but their shape and structure are so unbelievable that even scientists pause upon seeing them. There is no creation of any craftsman in them, but rather the stubbornness of nature itself, that it sometimes does not yield even to a sculptor. The local people call it the staircase to heaven, but this staircase does not lead upwards, it leads inwards. When you walk on its stones, then every step rises in the mind as a silent question. Can I understand this place, or can I only see it? When the sun sets, these same rocks start burning like fire, the red color becomes even deeper, the shadows become denser. And then you feel that someone else is also present there, who is watching you, but not showing itself. In Yiling there is no sound, no noise, but still it feels as if every rock is it, saying something of ancient times, of ancient gods, and of those travelers who, while passing from here, left behind both their fears and beliefs. Perhaps this is the reason why Yiling is still missing from the main tourist maps today. There is no drama to come here, no ticket, no window. To come here one needs courage, friendship with silence, and the training to listen to the deep silence of nature. So the question is not whether you can come here or not. The question is, are you ready to place your first step on that wavy stone, where every step shakes the soul to its depths? Yiling is calling you, but not to touch, only to feel. Number 2, Huangshan, Anhui, floating pictures in the mist. If you have ever seen a traditional Chinese painting, in which mountains shrouded in mist, winding pine trees, and clouds floating in the air, then it almost feels that that painting was inspired by Huangshan. Located in Anhui province, this mountain is not only a part of China's cultural identity, but also such a symbol that has been inspiring poets, painters, and philosophers for thousands of years. The meaning of Huangshan is yellow mountain, but its color is not the only feature. The rocks here, the peaks, and the deep valleys seem like lines of some ancient poem. There are a total of 72 major peaks, among which the highest Lotus Peak is at an altitude of about 10,864 meters. But Huangshan is not measured only by its height. The real magic is in its atmospheric silence. When clouds flow between the peaks, it feels as if the mountain is seeing a dream. The trees growing on these peaks are also not ordinary. These trees grow at such angles as if challenging gravity. The structure of their branches is so unique that seeing them becomes a visual experience in itself. And when the first ray of the sun bursts through these winding trees, then the entire atmosphere feels like some sacred moment. This mountain has been declared a World Heritage Site by UNESCO, and mentions of its sanctity are also found in centuries-old texts. At every turn of the Huangshan, one finds some ancient temple, some stone staircase, or a small waterfall hidden in some corner, which makes the energy here even more mysterious. The most amazing sight is formed when fog covers the entire area, and only a few peaks peek out from its surface. At that time, it seems as if you are not standing on Earth, but on the border of heaven. This is that moment when tourists become silent and close their eyes to just feel. Every season, Huangshan changes its form. In spring, flowers; in summer, greenery; in autumn, golden colors; and in winter, layers of snow. Every time a new experience, every time a new mystery. So if someone asks you to tell such a place where nature and art breathe together, then you can say without hesitation, Huangshan. Because this is not just a mountain, it is a living, breathing painting that stands on the edge of time, quietly, patiently waiting only for those travelers who know how to feel. Number 3, Emei, Sichuan. Where prayers echo in the clouds, mountains tire the body, but Emei awakens the soul. Located in the depths of Sichuan province, this mountain is one of the 4 sacred Buddhist sites of China. And its presence does not seem like an ordinary landscape. The meaning of Emei is beautiful brow mountain, and indeed every small part of it, every curve, every valley bears the softness and depth, like the brow of a calm face. But its beauty is not limited only to the visual. This place is a blazing center of spiritual energy. Emei is about 399 meters high. The difference from its foothills to the summit is not only geographical, but also a spiritual journey. Thousands of staircases built from ancient stones, narrow paths emerging from dense forests, and the slow echo of bells sounding at every turn make this journey feel like some chant. There are more than 30 Buddhist monasteries and temples on this mountain, some of which are thousands of years old. The most special is Jinding or Golden Summit, located at the top of the mountain. And there stands the massive statue of Samantabhadra, a bodhisattva of Buddhism, shining in golden aura, standing with gaze fixed in all 4 directions. This statue is not only an architectural marvel, but also a symbol of power and compassion for the devotees. In the morning time, when the sun's rays fall on the snow-covered peaks, and clouds flow below like a sea, then some rare travelers also witness the Buddha's halo, an optical miracle. This is like a circular rainbow that forms around the mountain, and it is said that this is visible only to those whose hearts are calm. In the valleys of Emei, there is an echo of prayers in the winds. The soil here bears those footprints that have been left by monks, seekers, and pilgrims for centuries. And if you listen carefully, then sometimes sounds of laughter also come from between these forests. Because this place is also home to some mischievous monkeys, who are notorious for stealing something from your pocket. But away from these external events, the real impact of Emei is understood only when you reach the top after getting tired. And there, the cool breeze itself suddenly gives your mind a silence. Such a silence in which there is no noise, but every question's answer is hidden. This mountain changes you quietly, and neither gives any sermon, nor shows any miracle. It just makes you understand through its silence and vastness that spirituality is not in the walls of any temple, but resides in the heights of nature. Emei is not a journey, it is an inner awakening. Number 4, Zhangjiaji Hunan, the mountain that gave birth to Avatar. Some places are such that as soon as we reach them, we feel that we are not on Earth. Exactly such a place is Zhangjiaji, located in China's Hunan province. Seeing which, it is hard to believe that this is a part of our own world. This is no imaginary painting, nor a scene from some movie set, but a living, breathing mystery that silences every person who places their first step here. The biggest feature of Zhangjiaji is its tall sandstone pillar-like rock formations. These pillar-like rocks stand straight up to a height of more than 200 meters, and their number is more than 3,000. From afar, it seems as if some invisible force has pulled these mountains up from the ground, and they are still floating in the air. When the sun's rays filter through these stone minarets wrapped in mist, then the entire scene becomes so otherworldly that it is difficult for the eyes to believe. This is that place which gave birth to the Hallelujah Mountains of James Cameron's world-famous film Avatar. But Zhangjiaji does not need recognition from any film. This place is so impressive in itself that every person who comes here changes from a depth. Its valleys, its silence, and its structure that seems unnatural is itself a question mark, which science has not fully understood yet. This entire area is known by the name Wulingyuan, and has been declared a World Heritage Site by UNESCO. Here, there are not only stones, there are caves here, dense forests, rivers, and such biodiversity which is rare to find anywhere else. Spread over 260 square kilometers, this area has more than 40 natural bridges. There are hundreds of caves and a chain of waterfalls that fall into the depths. So the echo hits the mountains and settles in the soul. The most famous attraction here is the Belong Elevator, the world's highest outdoor lift, which goes up 326 meters along a straight cliff. When you go up in this elevator, then the scene changes with every meter, and when you reach the summit, then it feels as if you have touched the clouds, or perhaps reached above the clouds. But the real magic of Zhangjiajie begins when the fog slowly starts descending into the valleys. The stone pillars start disappearing in the mist. Then suddenly one emerges from somewhere, then the other. The entire atmosphere becomes like some illusory painting, in which something new emerges every moment and hides in the next moment. According to local beliefs, this place is the home of souls. The belief of the residents here is that gods reside on these high rocks, and the fog is a sign of their presence. Perhaps that's why everyone who comes here naturally becomes calm, as if sitting in some temple. This mountainous area is not a symbol of grandeur, but an echo of a mystery. Whoever sees it will never be able to forget it. Because Zhangjiajie is not just a place, but that feeling which reminds us that this earth is still filled with infinite mysteries, and some miracles are not imagination, but reality. So are you ready to stand on that pillar where there is fog below, silence in front, and only sky above? Zhangjiajie is still calling you, not just to see, but to feel from within. Number 5. Fanjingshan Guizhou, where God resides between two peaks. Some mountains do not inspire devotion only from height, but from their very presence. Fanjingshan, located in the Wuling mountain range of Guizhou province, is exactly such a place. This mountain is enveloped in a mysterious energy, and as you move towards it, something inside you starts becoming calm. This mountain is considered one of the most sacred Buddhist sites of China, and it is said that this is the spiritual ascetic ground of the future Buddha Maitreya. The height of Fanjingshan is about 2,572 meters, but its specialty is the two strange rocky peaks located close to each other. There are two ancient temples on these two peaks. One is Hairy Cloud Golden Peak, and the other is Old Golden Top. There is a deep gorge between these two, and connecting them is a narrow bridge of stones, crossing which is not easy for anyone. When you stand on this bridge, then the clouds floating in the depth below and the silence spread all around together immerse you in such an experience that cannot be bound in words. To reach here, you have to climb about 8,000 stairs. This journey is not only of the feet, but also of the soul. After every few hundred stairs, your breath falters, but along with it, your consciousness also moves towards some unknown depth. The height increases, the air becomes thinner, but the mind becomes lighter. The ringing bells of prayers sounding in between, the scent of slow incense coming from the temples, and the wind filtering through the leaves, everything becomes a part of an ascetic silence. As soon as you reach the top, the sight that comes in front settles in the memory for life. Both temples are so perched on the rocks as if hanging from the sky. To reach them, one has to go through stone stairs that are stuck to the cliff. When you stand at the doors of the temples and peek below, then only clouds, mist, and infinite depth are visible below. This is that moment when a human truly feels his limitations. In 2018, Fanjingshan was declared a World Heritage Site by UNESCO. The biodiversity here is also unique. Rare species of plants, colorful birds, and according to local legends, souls immersed in penance still exist in the mountains today. Many people believe that if someone reaches this mountain with complete purity of mind, then he can get answers that change the direction of his life. This place is still largely untouched by ordinary tourists. Perhaps that's why, because it also wants that only those people come here who have come not to search, but to understand. Those who take selfies here do not hold as much meaning as the travelers who connect with the soul. Fanjingshan does not call you, but if you reach with the right question, then this mountain surely gives an answer, because above the temples here, there are not just bricks and stones. Here between two peaks, there is such a frozen silence that is not found anywhere else. The question is not whether you can climb this mountain or not. The question is, Are you ready to understand that silence which echoes in every direction there? Number 6. Tianshan, Xinjiang, the icy empire on the ridge of the sky. Some mountains do not seem to be on Earth, but it feels as if they are a part of the sky itself. Tianshan spread in the northwest of China, whose meaning itself is Heaven's Mountain. It is exactly such a range. This vast Himalayan arc stretches from China to Central Asia, and it is often called the Ridge of the Sky. Tianshan not only shakes humans with its height, but also with its silence and mysterious grandeur. This mountain range spread on the vast land of Xinjiang is a confluence of snow, rocks, and sanctity. Its highest peak, Gangish Chokusu, is hidden in endless layers of snow at an altitude of 7,439 meters. But the beauty of this mountain is not only in its height, but in its contradictions. Below, there are green meadows where Kazakh and Uyghur shepherds move with their herds. And above, those peaks that remain covered in snow for 12 months of the year. Between these two flows the wind, which seems to connect to worlds, earth and sky. According to legends, Tianshan is considered the abode of gods. Many ancient stories are settled in its lakes and valleys. Among them, the most famous is Tianqi, the heavenly lake, which shines like a sapphire between the mountains at an altitude of about 2,000 meters above sea level. It is said that this lake is the mirror of the gods. Whichever person looks at its water with a calm mind, it shows him glimpses of both his past and future. The weather of Tianshan is as unpredictable as its beauty. The landscape bathed in sunlight in the morning can turn into a stormy darkness by evening. But the traveler who journeys through it knows that every change brings with it a new experience. When clouds crash into the mountains and the snow falling from above flies with the winds, then the entire area seems like some divine drama. This region is included in UNESCO's Natural World Heritage List, and rare animals live here, like snow leopards, golden eagles, and mountain sheep. These creatures might seem like souls from some other world because they live far from human presence, only in this silent empire. There is a local saying about Tianshan that whoever enters the shadow of the mountain, time slips out of his grasp. Perhaps that's why it feels here that the ticking of the clock has stopped. There is only the sound of snow and the wind, and somewhere far, the echo of the footsteps of gods is heard. Seeing Tianshan is one thing, and walking into it is another. Every step there gives you the feeling that you are not on Earth, but in some other dimension. This mountain is not a symbol of height, nor of victory. It is a symbol of humility, because when a human searches in this white expanse, then he realizes that he is not the master of nature, but just a small part of it. So if ever you are asked where heaven is on Earth, then perhaps the answer would be this: Tianshan, where the sky does not bend down, but breathes in the form of mountains themselves. Number 7. Yiling, Sichuan. It's the last Shangri-La, where the breath of gods flows. If there was a map of heaven, then perhaps Yiling would be its most peaceful corner. Settled in the lap of the Tibetan Plateau in the western part of Sichuan province. This area seems as if a piece of some other world has descended on Earth. Snow-covered peaks spread all around. Deep blue lakes and a sacred silence dissolved in the wind altogether make Yiling such a place where human breath slows down and the voice of the soul becomes louder. Yiling is called the last Shangri-La. This name is not in vain, because the grandeur of the place is no less than some mythical dream. Here 3 divine mountains stand: Chandorye, symbol of power; Jampiang, symbol of wisdom; and Chenresig, symbol of compassion. These 3 godlike peaks are extremely revered in Tibetan culture, and it is said that circumambulating around them is the path to the soul's liberation. In the morning, when the first ray of the sun falls on these peaks, then the snow sparkles in golden light, and the entire sky seems to bow in prayer. There are 2 major lakes in this area, Milk Lake and Five Color Lake. These lakes are so clear that every shadow of the sky, every cloud, every ray is clearly visible in them. When you stand on the banks of these lakes, then it feels as if time has stopped. There is a faint fragrance of butter in the wind, and sometimes the sound of bells coming from some distant temple makes this silence even deeper. The journey to Yiling is difficult. The altitude is high. The paths are rocky, and the weather changes every moment. But whoever sets out on this journey does not come only for the sights. He comes to search for something, perhaps himself. The travelers who reach here feel one thing, that this is not a part of Earth, but an expanse of the soul. In the 1920s decade, the famous explorer Joseph Rock discovered this place and brought it before the world. Since then, much has changed, but yachting is still the same, untouched, pure, and sacred. There is no crowd here, no noise, no commerce. There is only the wind that flows with prayers and mountains that say everything in silence. It is said that when a traveler circumambulates around these mountains with full mind, then the burden of his life becomes lighter. Perhaps that's why, because here every step is taken in rhythm with nature. Every breath becomes a mantra. So, if you are told that there is such a place on earth where the breaths of gods flow, then believe it for sure. It is yachting. This is not just a destination, but an experience where a human feels himself that sometimes the highest places are right there where the mind bows down. Number 8. Putuition, Zhejiang, the ocean of the goddess of compassion. Sometimes some places are such that even being mountains, they feel like the sea, infinite, deep, and filled with peace. Putuition, located on the eastern coast of Zhejiang province, is exactly such a place, where the sounds of waves and prayers are heard together. This is not just a mountain, but a sacred island dedicated to goddess Guanyan, that is, the goddess of compassion. Every person who comes here returns with a lightness inside them, as if the sea has absorbed their worries within itself. Putuition is one of the 4 sacred Buddhist mountains of China. But its soul is somewhat different. It's not land, it is an island, which has been a refuge for sea travelers, seekers, and pilgrims for hundreds of years. It is said that once a monk, while crossing the sea, had a vision of goddess Guanyan on this island. And since then, this place became a symbol of compassion, forgiveness, and peace. The temples here are hundreds of years old. The most famous is Putu Temple, whose golden roof sparkles in the morning sun as if the sea itself is praying. There are stone stairs going up from the seashore to reach the temple, on which every step while climbing feels like a mantra. Red lanterns swing in the wind on both sides of the stairs, and as soon as you reach above, the vast sea spread far and wide welcomes you. Blue, immense, and calm. There are about 30 large and small temples here, in which thousands of Buddha statues are seated. The statue of Guanyan facing the sea is the most magnificent. This 23-meter-high statue stands right in the middle of the sea, as if the protector of the waves herself. When the tide comes and the water touches its base, then it seems as if the goddess herself is blessing the ocean. But the beauty of Putuition is not limited only to the temples. The natural peace here, the shores full of shells, and the cool winds blowing in the morning make it a living meditation site. Many pilgrims come here for penance, silent meditation. When the sun rises, then its rays falling on the water create a golden sparkle, and the sound of bells starts echoing throughout the island. In that moment, it feels as if the entire creation is breathing together. At night, when the red lanterns of the temples are lit and distant waves kiss the shores, then the island seems like a living soul, speaking slowly, calm, and sacred. There is no noise here, no crowd, only the sound of waves and the prayers of monks coming from afar. What Putuition is proof of this, that the form of compassion is not only in the walls of temples, it lives in every wave, every wind, every island. This island gives a message that true power is not in voice, but in silence. And perhaps that's why whoever comes here once does not want to return again, because in this sea temple, the soul finds a home. Number 9. Wuteishan, Shaanxi, the echo of peace, hidden in 5 peaks. If any mountain can be called the embodiment of peace, then it is Wuteishan. It's located in the cold heights of Shaanxi province. This mountain is not just a natural formation, but a living symbol of spirituality. One of the 4 major Buddhist pilgrimage sites of China, the name of Wuteishan itself is its identity, the mountain with 5 peaks. These 5 peaks are scattered in such a way as if some invisible force is spreading its palms towards the sky. There is an echo even in the wind here, which feels like the result of thousands of years of prayers and meditation. Wuteishan is at an altitude of about 3,000 meters above sea level. Its 5 major peaks north, south, east, west, and central. Each has its own symbolic meaning. It is said that on these 5, Buddha himself resides in 5 forms. There are more than 50 ancient monasteries on this mountain, many of which have a history of more than 2,000 years. These monasteries with stone walls and golden roofs are so peaceful that while walking between them, a person can even hear his own heartbeat. In the early morning, when the sound of bells emerges from the temples, then it spreads throughout the mountain. This sound echoes in the valleys shrouded in fog, and it feels as if nature itself is absorbed in meditation. The most famous temple here is Xuantang, which is counted among the oldest Buddhist temples in China. In its architectural style, such a combination of wood, stone, and metal is found that brings both art and devotion to life together. The weather of Wutation always remains cold and uncertain. Even in summers, the temperature here can drop below. But this is its beauty. This mountain calls those people who are searching for inner warmth, not outer. This is not just a place of meditation, but a place of testing the soul. Because the silence here is not some ordinary peace, but deep and piercing. The legend is that Buddha's incarnation, Manjushri, attained enlightenment on this very mountain. And since then, this place is considered the center of wisdom and peace. Even today, sadhus and saints spend many years of their lives here in penance. When this mountain covered in snow sparkles in the sun's rays, then its peaks seem like that golden halo. Seeing that sight, only one feeling arises in the mind, that in this silence, perhaps the truest sound of the universe is hidden. The travelers who come here feel that Wutation is not a place to just see, but a place to feel. Here, time moves slowly, and a human comes face to face with the peace inside himself. This mountain teaches us that spirituality is not in the walls of any temple, but resides in the stillness of the mind. Every stone of Wutation, every gust of wind, every temple's bell seems to say the same. Do not search for peace outside. It is right there, within you, in your breaths. This is the reason why this mountain has been a pilgrimage of the mind for people for centuries. Such a place where words end and silence speaks. Number 10. Huangshan Gins, the gateway to the Valley of Immortal Souls. In every civilization, there is such a place where people believe that even beyond death, some glimpse of life exists. Huangshan mountain range spread in China's Jiangxi province also says the same. This is no ordinary mountain. It is such a confluence of mysteries, legends, and natural forces where every stone tells an old story and every valley harbors unsaid fears. Its meaning itself is that mountain where gods reside. And perhaps this is the reason why the people here consider it not just geography, but a gateway to the universe. Upon seeing Huangshan, the first thing that surprises is its geography. This place is filled with such strange formations that it feels as if nature has done some secret experiment here. Tall rocks, deep gorges, and mysterious caves spread in between. All together create an otherworldly sight. The valleys here always remain shrouded in mist, due to which it becomes difficult to understand where the earth ends and the sky begins. When the sun's rays descend through this mist, then the entire atmosphere gives the feeling of some other world. According to local people, Huangshan is not just a mountain, but the gateway to immortal souls. Its mention in ancient texts has been made as the confluence of heaven and the human world. It is said that time moves slowly in the valleys here. Travelers have often talked about strange incidents here, watches stopping, losing sense of direction, and some have even said that there is also some strange rhythm in the movement of the wind here, as if the entire atmosphere is moving according to some hidden rhythm. Many scientific expeditions have studied this area, but the mystery here still remains as it is. The magnetic imbalance present in the rocks of Huangshan has also surprised physicists. The compass does not show direction here properly. Mobile signals disappear, and an energy is felt in the wind, which neither appears nor can be heard, but every person feels it. Some monks call it qi, the life force that flows everywhere in the universe. And perhaps this same energy is the root of the mystery of this mountain. According to ancient Chinese philosophers, Huangshan is that place where the veil between the soul and the physical body becomes the thinnest. Many sadhus and seekers come here for meditation in the hope that they can take their consciousness to the heights. They have said that while meditating here, thoughts do not become clear, but dissolve. The person forgets who he is, and only existence remains. According to legends, during the Han Dynasty, an immortal yogi, while practicing penance here, merged into the light of energy. Many people have seen a shining blue flame on the peak of this mountain at night, which does not seem like any lamp, but like spiritual light. The local people call it the opening of Heaven's Gate. When this sight appears, the villagers light lamps in the temples and offer incense, believing that gods are passing between their world. The most famous place of Huangshan is the Valley of Saints, a deep gorge that always remains submerged in fog. It is said that if anyone's desire is unstable before placing a step here, then he loses his path. There are records in many old journeys that people went down into the valley and never returned, but those who returned said that time had stopped there. A journey of a few hours felt equal to many days. It is said about this place that it is the point between time and dimensions where reality bends. This mountain neither creates fear nor attraction. It only pulls, as if some old mystery is calling towards itself. The travelers who come here return with an experience that the world is not as it appears. There's another layer to everything, another dimension. And perhaps Huangshan is one of those doors from where this other dimension peaks. At night, when the movement of the wind slows down and the branches of trees on the rocks move lightly, then it feels as if some invisible prayer is echoing. The entire mountain seems to be breathing, as if alive, aware, and watching you. This is the most unsaid thing about this place, that the person who comes here sees more than what he sees. Huangshan reminds us that there is always a thin line between science and mystery. Some questions are such that answers are not needed, but they need to be felt. This is the message of this mountain, that every soul harbors a Wu Yi within itself, such a door that is beyond understanding, but alive with experience. That's all in today's video, friends. This journey to these mysterious mountains of China teaches us that in every corner of this earth, such miracles still hide, which cannot be bound in words. Whether it is Huangshan, or Yiling, Huangshan, or Tianshan, every mountain is a mirror that makes us meet ourselves. These places are made not just to see, but to feel. So next time when you stand in front of any mountain, then remain silent for just a moment, because perhaps in that silence, some mystery is calling your name. If you are watching this video, please subscribe our channel, Epoch Docs.